Ty Majeski on the inside. Gio Ruggiero, Caden Honeycutt, the first two rows. Green flag is in the air. We are racing at the Monster.
You know, the racetrack right now is a little bit in a different shape than what it's going to be because, you know, we just finished with the cup rubber and the racetrack actually got pretty wide in practice. So I'm pretty sure that these guys are going to learn a lot of what the racetrack has right now and trying to adapt towards, you know, later, the racers later in the race.
I think something that we have in common, Daniel, as a fan, I'm a fan of this deal. I watch it every weekend. And as a driver, you like when you can spread out. You can run high, you can run low. We've got multiple grooves, and you saw that on lap one. They're already all over the place. And then it wasn't a week later, he did just that in very, very impressive fashion at the road course in New York. And I think this kid is a guy that you're going to race on Sunday one day. He's that good.
I agree with you, Michael. You know, I'm a fan of Honeycutt. And you know something I like about him is that he's very honest. You know, he tells you the things the way they are. And I was happy to see that he was hard on himself. And I'm very sure that now that he was able to break that barrier, get the win, and now he's going to get in a roll. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see him win more races here very soon.
Look at Caden Honeycutt peeking around the outside of Ty Majeski. This is a battle for second, and he clears him.
I know you love seeing that, Daniel. He just went up to the top.
Hearing there might be an issue with Carson Hocevar.
Steering. It's man, Chairman. I know it's not good. Don't wreck the truck. I physically might not be able to keep doing this.
Does that sound like a power steering issue to you, Daniel?
You know, it sounds like something. I will say this: when I run the truck in Bristol, in practice I had a steering issue. So I don't know if it's just a coincidence or it's a little bit of a trend.
Hearing Daniel Hemrick is slow, brought it down pit road. He was 11th at the time, and he's just creeping, barely under power here on pit road.
I'd say no power, just rolling to a stop. That has every look of an engine issue, electrical at least. And he had a pretty good speed early in this race, but now he's out. See what the team can decipher here.
All right, Kyle Busch continues out front, but Clint Bowyer barely hanging on. He was the next to go a lap down. Destiny Spurlock into the wall, and we get our first caution of this one.
He got loose and just overcorrected and lost it.
A lot of right front damage. That'll end Destiny's start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Oh, man, she fought that thing, didn't she, Daniel?
Man, she almost saved it.
Yes.
Almost saved it. It seems to me that the 44 truck of my amigo paisano, Mexicano, he packed a little bit of air and then she got loose. And I mean, he was so close of saving that truck. What a shame.
That's just all the learning that goes on. And if you're ever going to save one anywhere in America, Dover might be the toughest place to do so. Did you see how much banking are on those straightaways?
It's so difficult, Michael.
We've got a lot of takers on pit road, including our leader of all laps so far, Kyle Busch, making his way down for some service. Going to see adjustments. Josh.
And start with the 77 of Carson Hocevar. A number of issues, reported a vibration. Also said he's wrecking loose. They're going to make some massive adjustments either now or later on in the race to get him what he needs to in terms of the 62 of C. Bell. Quiet on the radio about that car. Will be 4 tires and fuel for the 62, Amanda.
Yeah, we knew Kyle Busch was going to take that because he's all about winning here, looking for that 5th win on the season. He was talking about the tires. He said they kind of have a basketball feel to them. Snug on exit, Kyle Busch off to the races.
And off pit road second, Caden Honeycutt was able to best Kyle on pit road. And these guys are going to come up behind some trucks that stayed out, which I don't know if you think this, Daniel. But as a race fan, this is going to be crazy.
Side by side on the front row, older tires. Kyle Busch, Ty Majeski, breathing down their neck. Green flag back in the air.
Pushes already.
3 wide behind him. Carson Hocevar pushing the issue. Are they 4 wide at Dover?
Oh, me.
They tried. They were there for a second. Oh, my
Look
God.
at this mess.
There's still 3 wide all over this track. The 12 of Brendan Butterbean.
Brendan couldn't hang on, but Cole Butcher did a nice job hanging in there for a bit.
Look at that. Stage 1 results took him no time at all. Kyle Busch. Couple takers on pit road, filling up with Sunoco race fuel with 0 carbon bioethanol. Cole Butcher, one of those, coming in for tires and service, stayed out. Of course, Butterbean Queen, the other that stayed out at the end of stage 1.
That team's got to be very proud of the call and the result. We know Rich Lucius likes to throw a Hail Mary. That's the crew chief for Cole Butcher. And he threw one there.
And it worked.
And it worked.
It worked.
So Kyle Busch, Ty Majeski, green flag in the air for stage number 2 here at Dover Motor Speedway.
Jamie, it's much more orderly when everybody has the same tires on up front. It's not going to be easy for sure. They're going to be 3 wide as we see up top. Caden Honeycutt fighting his way back.
I mean, he's already there. I mean, he's already in the top 15. So I think he's making good progress, almost in the top 15.
Yeah, it's nice to see that 19 back on track. You know, he comes off with the best finish of his season, 4th at Watkins Glen, but that wasn't the story. Just about 30 minutes ago, Daniel Hemrick lost complete fuel pressure, went to pull the truck off the track and kind of landed right here at the exit off of pit road. The team ran down here to start working on the fuel pump. NASCAR officials made them push up the hill into the garage, but you saw the whole crew from the 19 in the bed of that truck. I talked to Kevin Phillips from Belleport. He said, yeah, we broke the fuel pump, which requires a complete replacement.
And they replaced it. He's back out 22 laps down. But this guy, your amigo, Andres Perez.
My paisano, you know, I mean, we saw on commercial that he had a little bit of damage right there in the right front. Already, you know, it's hard to tell here what happened. Either he got the wall first and then he had a flat tire, or he had a flat tire and then he went high. We don't really know. I mean, it seems here that he's already running slow here. So a little bit unfortunate. If he gets the track position back, I think he's gonna be a contender up front with the 7 and the 45.
This is an
Cole
unscheduled
Butcher,
stop.
look how much damage he has, Michael, on the right side.
We talked about him having trouble week in, week out, and looks like he swung a little wide and hung that 13 truck into the fence.
Yeah,
great first stage, and now he's gotten a wreck again.
Ross Chastain about a half of a second behind Kyle Busch. Ty Majeski, Gio Ruggiero, and Christopher Bell, the top 5.
Majeski was confident in his truck. Look at that battle for the lead. That's how close the 3 trucks are to Kyle in the first stage. He drove away from them. So they definitely made improvements on the 45 truck and the 88.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, right? Like, you cannot stay comfortable. You have to continue to make your truck better. And Kyle Busch is seeing this, right? He's seeing that if he doesn't make his stuff better, the next stage, stage number 3, which is the longest stage, he's gonna have to do something to be able to improve his truck in the long run. I think he's gonna be okay here on exit.
Yes, he is.
Final lap, and it's not enough. Kyle Busch hangs on.
Wow, that was close.
All right, they're going to be filling up, Michael, with some Sunoco race fuel with 0 carbon bioethanol. And Josh, you're first up.
Well, for Carson Hocevar, they over-adjusted on the last stop, went from too free to too tight. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment and adjust some of the damage on that truck. For the 62 of Christopher Bell, he said he's 3.5 numbers too tight, so they're going to work to free up that truck. Amanda?
On the bottom right-hand side there, you'll see the 45 of Ross Chastain. He is doing triple duty here this weekend for the 2nd week in a row. He told his team that the turning feels good, that it fired off tight, and it was much better on that run. And for Kyle Busch, he said that the rear is a little wishy-washy, mostly tight. But the funny thing with him and Brian Patty, a little wedge adjustment. He said, do you want half or do you want 1? Kyle said, screw it. Give me 3/4 out.
They did it. They got the adjustment for Kyle Busch. Ross Chastain out ahead of Kyle Busch.
Multiple trucks got out ahead of Kyle. They had a rough pit stop.
Here we go as the drivers approach the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Ross Chastain, Ty Majeski, great pit stops, got out in front of Kyle Busch, and we're racing again.
You know, Daniel, you said something really interesting earlier. You said Kyle Busch was fast, but he had that track position. If he loses it, What's this truck going to be like? We're getting ready to find out.
Yeah, we are ready to find out. And you know, the 45 of Chastain was actually pretty good, especially in the long run. So now we're going to see, you know, how good is the 45 with the track position and how good is the 7. And also our amigo Honeycutt. You know, we've been talking about him all day.
That's
Still
Parker
there,
Eatman.
coming back.
In the 42 that Bowyer was going around. Meanwhile, up front, battle for third here. Ty Majeski fighting back, trying to hold off Lane Riggs. We see this time and time again, Michael. Lane Riggs mired mid-pack, and somehow he ends up battling up front. He's going straight to the front.
It's just been impressive, especially if you tuned in earlier today and watched the struggle that practice was. No speed for him. No speed for his teammate either. He doesn't mind roughing people up. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, Daniel.
He's had damage from a couple other trucks throughout this race, and add that to the list.
I was, whoa.
You didn't like that.
Well, I would say this. What happened there is that the 38 scratched the wall on exit. And the 77 was gauging himself to the left rear of the 38. And then, you know, they made contact, but it wasn't fault of the 77.
More trouble for Carson Hocevar. He had to pit from 14th. More damage. The right front of the truck now. We're being told he had a flat right front tire. You see him trying to knock that out. We'll see what happened here that took him essentially out and down to pit road.
Yeah, he had an issue earlier, and this is just the end of it, making his way to pit road. And
caution is out. Caution. That's Luke Baldwin in the 2. Saw him in his battles with Clint Bowyer all race long. That's a big hit.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
See what goes down racing against the 12 of Butterbean Queen. Just got loose and didn't want to use Butterbean up. That's so tough. Such a tough position to find yourself in. That's not so bad, but I'm afraid it's going to go down and hit that inside wall. This track just sweeps you down to the bottom once you have contact.
Well, at least he wasn't with our amigo Clint. He's going to win the race because he's going to have he's going to be one of the few trucks that is going to have a set of tires left.
Josh.
They left the decision up to Christopher Bell whether he wanted to come in or stay out. He wanted to come in and get fuel and those 4 tires. Amanda?
Yeah, there was back and forth between Brian Patty and Kyle Busch of what to do here on the taking the pit stop. They were a little worried about fuel to the end, thought that they might be a little short, but Ross Chastain, he was like, are you sure? We're concerned about these tires lasting to the end.
Well, they made their bed.
Yeah, they're not going to last to the end. They're going to come to pit road eventually, but how will the cautions fall to?
Here we go. It'll be 76 laps to go.
I mean, you can see the difference, you know, on the launch of the fresh rubber versus the older rubber. And Kyle Busch, you know, he should be able to clear, you know, the 45 of
Ross Chastain's not giving up. Look at him on the outside going into 3.
I mean, those tires are hanging out better than what I thought.
Lane Riggs is sniffing a piece of that front
Somebody
pack.
crashing behind? I think I saw some smoke.
I think they're just running into each other.
Okay.
We have that in the Truck Series.
It's pretty normal.
They do that a lot.
William Sawalich has joined the top 5.
Look at Ty Majeski wrapping that outside. Oh, into the wall. That was Brandon Jones in that one truck. He caught the wall off turn 2.
Blue truck in 6th right now. Caden Honeycutt there on the inside of Brandon Jones.
This is actually very interesting.
So Brandon Jones in the 1, back in 8th right now. Let's take a look at him bouncing off the wall.
Why? Oh.
And around goes Mini Tyrell.
Well, what do you do if you're Chastain? I mean, you have to stay out because it's too early.
Caution comes out for the 5th time.
Not Clint Bowyer wasn't involved in this, was he?
Oh my God, our amigo, I think.
Bowyer in the 25. Making it 3 wide.
Oh, and the 14 just got loose. That wasn't Boyer's fault. That just hard 3 wide racing. Bowyer saw an opening, he went for it. Anybody's going to take that hole, aren't they, Daniel?
Totally. Anyone would take the hole, especially because Bowyer knows that the 42 truck, the white truck, he's with old tires. So he had to, you know, fill up that gap. P-Road is open right here.
So Mini Tyrell not as lucky as Bowyer, who escapes unscathed. We'll see what happens as Ross Chastain leads him out of turn 4 alongside Kyle Busch once again.
Big run on the top there by Lane Riggs. Was able to give a nice shove to Ross. Kyle's going to clear him or no?
Oh, very close, but no, he did not. He did not clear him.
Wow.
And right now, you know, the 45 is in the preferred lane, you know, for now. Oh, he got a little moment there.
Chastain cleared out front. Kyle Busch second. To the inside of Ross Chastain.
Ross is just so good on that high line.
Can't clear him. Nose to nose.
Oh, he dove it in there, didn't he?
He sure did.
Bumper.
Clear.
Clear for Kyle Busch. Back out front. Ross Chastain, who last pitted on 94, and he's dropping, and we're hearing he may be coming to pit road soon. You see him right there back in 10th.
He's not concerned about it. He just knows he doesn't have enough.
Right.
Yeah, I know. There is no question about the 45, that's for sure.
Here he comes.
Here he comes.
That's a shame. They tried to play a strategy card that did not work. The whole field came behind him. Get that hand out the window, get down to pit road speed. And I love where Ty Majeski is. We saw his performance over the year, up and down all year long. But he's saying right now today, yeah, they might be the favorites.
You tag out. Will, put your helmet on.
I don't know what all that means. Somebody needs to put their helmet on and come over the wall.
A bigger
he said
problem.
something about oil.
See how Clint gets to pit road. You talked about your brain.
Whoa.
Let's not talk about Clint's brain. I think we'd all get confused.
Roll the bottom lane inside. Clear.
That was a big moment for Bowyer.
Come apart.
They just told Bowyer on the radio he is done. You see it right there. They
Well,
told him he was good to go
For one lap.
plus one lap.
Yeah,
yes.
but right now he's slowing down a lot. So I wonder if they say, hey, never mind, keep saving for a little bit for us.
Yeah, back safe.
He's got a big
Max
gap.
save.
Max
You
save.
hear that? So
Yeah.
what happened with we're good to go for one lap?
And you look at that interval behind him, Ty Majeski, it's closing now. You heard he's in full save mode. There's Majeski in the picture.
Majeski ran a half second faster than Kyle last time by, and a half second again this time by, so he'll get there in a hurry.
Majeski, I don't think Majeski is actually saving a lot because he's running the top right there.
I think he's full bore all over. He sees that 7 truck ahead. He said, I got to get there. If I run out of gas, I run out.
I think that there are a couple trucks that are slowing down a lot, but they're running out of fuel because
Is that, oh, every time I see this 7 truck, he looks like he's off the pace, but he's hanging in there.
Final lap of the race, 2.5 second lead over Ty Majeski. We haven't raced here in 6 years, and some things just seem to not change. Kyle Busch
He's good at this.
back behind the wheel. He knows all about getting to victory lane. Here he comes off of turn number 4. Kyle Busch wins at Dover for the 5th time in his career.
All right. Yeah, baby.
That's awesome. Very good,
Good job, team. Way to go.
very good for Aspire
Thank you, guys.
Motorsports.